National Geographic Explorer. Tonight, we will be studying Yellowstone National Park with the help of our special guest, Brad McGorkum, a park ranger from Yellowstone. I'm sure you will enjoy him on our show tonight. His views and opinions of Yellowstone National Park are very respected. He is an animal lover and environmentalist. Good evening, and thanks for coming to our show tonight.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Just, what is Yellowstone National Park and what goes on in there?
Well, Yellowstone National Park is the first national park that was ever established in 1872. And for 100 years it's thrived on, a lot of help from the government. But it's starting to have problems. There's a lot of development that's trying to go in, and there's a lot of people that, aren't following the rules. The park is basically, it's huge. It's 3,472 square miles of park, which is the largest one of its kind. But only 5% of that is for buildings and things like that. So 95% of it is for animals, but people are trying to change that to try and get in, and that's what we're trying to stop, trying to keep it the way it is.
I understand. Just, how can the Park Service effectively keep tourism going through there and also let the animals live their lives, since it is kind of a protection for the animals? Just, how can they do that?
Yeah, mainly our park, it was founded not for the tourism, it was founded for the animals. And during the 70s and 60s and 70s and in the early 80s, we started getting more into the tourism aspect. And that started hurting the animals. So we're trying to get back to this. And since 71, 2 million people a year have come through our gates.
That's just an awful lot of people.
It's too many.
About, all the fires that happened last year and everything, is that a tragedy to the park, or is that natural? Should that happen?
Well, we need fires to come through to restore things, to clean out. It's like the fires are kind of like a spring cleaning, if you want to say so. It cleans out the old stuff and lets new stuff grow up. But this year's fire, we were respecting the Let It Burn policy, which is it's a policy that if fires are started by natural causes, such as lightning and stuff, then you let it burn, because that's nature doing its course. But we didn't expect it to get this way. It was really dry and really humid, and the winds were terrible. And we just let it get out of proportion, and it didn't damage much of the park. I think only 20-30% of the park was really damaged. But other than that, it was not very bad.
How do you feel personally about the Let It Burn policy? Should they let it burn, or should they try to put every fire out?
Well, I think that the Let It Burn policy has some good points. The good points are that it is a natural fire, and you should let it burn unless it gets that it's going to hurt animals or buildings or things like that. But you should let it go. But I think this year we just let it go way out of proportion.
Do many animals get hurt, or can they get away from the fire pretty easily?
Some animals don't really know it's coming. This year, I really don't know how many animals were killed, but the animals that are killed, the fires just swept up on them too fast, and they were either trapped by circle fires, or it just came up on them too fast and they couldn't get away. But animals usually are alert enough that they know it's coming. They usually can't get to safety.
About all this that we've been hearing about the outside the borders thing, with the industrial rising outside the borders and all the big freeways that are coming into Yellowstone, do you think that they should keep the outside of the borders natural like Yellowstone, or should they put up things outside that?
I feel that they should try to keep it as normal as they can, but since it's not boundaried off, so this cannot be changed. It's really up to the government now to do stuff like that, to keep roads and construction people away from there. But it's really it's open for anybody, but we're trying to keep it natural as can be.
Yeah, but what happens though if they put up industrial developments outside the park and it's a pollutant to the park and its chemicals will get into the park? What could be done about that?
Yeah,
What should
see,
they do
then-
for that?
Then we would, we would research into that, see how industrial would affect us, and if it was bad, we'd take care of it. But most people, we asked them, we took a poll, and we asked, do you want to help Yellowstone? And they said, yeah, sure, we want to help Yellowstone, but then we said, well, then we're going to have to take all the industrial stuff out, and all the money-making aspects of it, and then they weren't quite sure. People have to make up their mind.
Yeah, people have to make their decisions on that, whether they want to give money to it or, I mean, the way I see it, a lot of people want Yellowstone Park to keep going, but none of them will put
Yeah,
the money into it.
Yeah. They don't want to give up.
They don't want to
money
give up
aspect.
their things, and they want it to be convenient for them,
Sure.
not the animals too.
Sure.
Uh-huh. And about the grizzly bears and stuff and all the animals in there, how are they being affected now with all the tourism, and are they surviving it?
Well, our bear population is staying up pretty well. We have a system now that we relocate bears if there are ever any problems to people, and we have a satellite tracking system that we tag different bears. We can tell exactly what bears where, and so we have all our bears tagged, so we know which bears to move and stuff. But most of the time, bears hardly ever come in contact with people, and if they do, it's just sightings. There haven't been any.
Yeah, but usually isn't that the people's fault? I mean, isn't that kind of cruel to put homing devices on the bears and to relocate them? I mean, just because because it's inconvenient for the people?
Yeah, that is a major topic, but the homing devices we have they don't harm the bear, alter the bear at all. So, it's not really inconvenient for the bears. It is when we have to move them. But yeah, the systems we have now are more convenient for the people. If we have to move the bears, that's what we're trying to get back around.
Now, you don't have the dumpings anymore and
No.
the garbage where the
All
bears
the
can go
garbage is
anymore.
taken out.
Are you glad that's over with and that they don't do that anymore? And has it hurt the bears since they don't dump things for them to have
Oh
anymore?
no, the bears definitely are getting back to the way they should be. When we were dumping the trash into, where the bears could eat it,
Mhm.
they would rely on man's food, not on their own. And they totally got lazy and they got out of their whole nature. So when they took the garbage away, they had a little, changing to do, but they're used to it now and they're doing it the way they should be doing it, getting their own food.
Just when a bear does attack people, it doesn't happen very much, though, does it?
No.
And so usually the bear is pretty calm and pretty collected and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Only 44 people have been, killed by bears since Yellowstone opened. We're here a couple weeks after the fire went through. You can tell here the extent of the damage. Right here, it just took this whole tree here. And you can tell around me that already there's charred remnants, but grass is already starting to grow up again. So the damage that a fire does isn't really that bad. But if there's big trees, then it could be, it could be a damage just for sight. But there really is no damage done to the nature. You can see all the grass here is taken off. Around these trees here, you can tell that nothing really, this is all the far they've got. Most trees, large trees, they have a kind of like a protective coating. And especially in Yellowstone, some trees have coatings that helps them from getting burnt out. You can see the creek, there's still water in the creek that has no problem on. And there's new foliage growing up all over. And the animals weren't hurt, there's still birds in the area and everything like that. There's no problem. As you can tell, it didn't take all the trees here in this area. This is kind of a lower part of the area. Okay, another hot topic for the Yellowstone area is a spot called the Fishing Bridge. Now this has been used by bears to get across the creek channel for as long as the park has been in service, I guess. And people come to fish here from all around the country. And the bears are bothered by it when the people come here. They don't want to come because they're scared off. And this has been used for the longest time by bears, so you know it's kind of a hassle for the bears to have to go around because this is really the best place to get across.
How do you as a park ranger feel that fishing bridge controversy should be handled?
Since we are starting to turn towards back to, you know, having the animals instead of tourism, I think we should shut this area off because some of the bears have been killed by going around, and sometimes they go out of the park to get around. As you've seen, Yellowstone is a very beautiful national park right now, but a very rising controversy is what people think of it. People feel right now that Yellowstone is going very much downhill in every aspect that you can think. Like the bears are going extinct, the fires have come to be too much of a problem, and what we should do about that, people just don't know. 10 years from now, what will this park look like? Will it be the same as it is now, a beautiful national park? Or will it be a barren wasteland? Who knows what it'll look like? The only way to save this park is by people giving money and just respecting nature and this park. So far, Yellowstone has thrived for 100 years. How much further can it go? 10, 20 years maybe? Nobody really knows for sure. Only you can answer that question. Will Yellowstone go on for another 100 years as it has right now? Thank you, and that is our show for today. We hope you have enjoyed it. We would like to thank all the people that made it possible for us to bring this very special, important presentation to you. We would also like to make a special thank you to Park Ranger Brad Van Gorkum for being with us on this show today. If you would like more information on Yellowstone or would like to make a contribution, call 1-800-44-PARKS. Next week on National Geographic Explorer, we will be discussing and looking over the Arctic region. Thank you for being with us on this show today.